Okay, time for another fun one. We're going to do a walk around of a 2023 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic Limited, FLHRT, I believe that is, or an FLK. I don't understand their designations and how they all did it, but originally was the Electra Glide. Electra came from the electric start that the Harley Davidson put on. Anyway, I bought this new about a year ago. It was a holdover, so I got a pretty good deal on it. They subsequently, in 2024, I think it was their last year for the Ultra Classic. Now they've gone into the Street Glide Tour and the Road Glide Tour as kind of the replacements. Good and bad. You know, I don't think you get the same quality of a passenger seat. This is very nice. It has the speakers in it. Cushy and comfortable, which you need when you're riding a Harley Davidson. We'll get into the suspension here in a little bit. Also, being that this is the touring frame, it does have a little bit more shock travel than, I believe, a Street Glide or a Road Glide. Kind of a little lacking on that, although I know in 2025 they did make it a little bit better. One thing that we all like about the Harley Davidson is, of course, the V-twin engine there. This one happens to be a 114 cubic inch engine, which translates into about 1,836 cubic centimeters. I remember when a 750 was considered a larger engine or a large touring bike. Look at us now, right? Fuel injected, of course, for spark plugs, 2 per cylinder. It looks air-cooled, which it still is. They call this the twin-cooled. You've got a radiator in your lower, one on each side, and that's driven by an electric water pump. Not the biggest capacity for coolant, a little over a quart, I believe, is what circulates, and it goes through and around the cylinder head of the engine there, which is the hottest point, you know, in the exhaust valve area. I believe Harley Davidson has improved this when they came out with the 117 and 121. They've improved it by having the coolant travel to the rear cylinder first, which is always a little warmer than the front. The front cylinder always gets a little bit more air as it comes in as you're riding. Your classic batwing fairing, which looks cool. It's got the driving lights, all LED. Brakes are pretty good. You need good brakes when you have a vehicle that weighs as much as this vehicle does. 6-speed overdrive, which Harley's had in on their bikes for quite some time now. Heated grips. It does have the nav on this. It also has traction control, and it's got an inertial measuring unit, so it kind of affects your traction control and ABS. It's got this trunk, which is pretty heavy. I believe it is 46 pounds. I put the docking hardware on so that I can remove this if I want. Obviously, you have to replace the blinker system because that's where it's tied in on there. As in any Harley, you got to have pipes on. I installed the tab pipes, slip-on, so it's not really considered a stage. Maybe that's a stage 1. I didn't do anything with the air cleaner. I try to leave everything as stock as possible. One thing about this model year is it still has the classic gauges, which I like, and it's got the touchscreen nav on there. You go in the menu, there's your radio, Um, AM, FM, you can have different choices. Weather band, FM, this is the phone. And a lot of times I'll have a USB tied into it. And right in there, as you can tell, that isn't large enough for, it's not large enough for a normal phone, which is always kind of a weird thing. Who really designed these bikes? Anyway, talking about the motorcycle itself, you have exceptional storage. Top loading is always a lot better. A lot easier to load your luggage. I do have some inserts. These come off pretty easily. There's just these two, quick turn, and you can remove your luggage system quickly, get it out of the way for cleaning. It's belt driven, so quite a bit lighter and less complicated than a shaft, and they last. You keep the tension right on them. The teeth last a long time on the sprockets. I've heard 50,000 on the belts is usually a good replacement time. Very good riding. It's got these wings here, lets the air flow in depending on the temperature, and you also have your lowers, which you can open and close the amount of air you want flowing in. So they kind of work, but you'll always notice this little gap here. So you get air that comes right in on your knees, or you're driving in the rain, so it's a little funky. Would have been nice to have some kind of a better system to keep the rain off you if you do end up having to drive through some, which is what happens a lot of times. It's just a quick shower you're driving through, and it's nice just to be able to hug up to the frame, get through it, and not have to stop. Anyway, the trunk is a large size trunk. It flips off to the side. Two helmets, two large full face will fit in there. You got your 12-volt socket for charging if that's your deal. Like Harley, very good paint. The paint is what really, the quality is unbelievable. And the bike itself is really high quality. The reason I like to have a Harley around is they've got some character, and they're just fun to ride, right? If you go spec it out, it's like, yeah, you'd probably take a Goldwing or a BMW if that's your gig. But for overall fun riding, the Harley Davidson really is the way to go. I mean, they're just a lot of fun to just get out on the road, set your cruise, set the radio up, kick back, and enjoy the ride. Now, speaking of the ride, the one thing that Harleys always have had, they don't have electronic suspension. You can set the preload on the rear suspension. There's a little knob underneath there that you can adjust, so if you've added some weight to the back, but their front forks are always so stiff. The valving is obviously off on it, and while it helps the handling, and that's why they do it, if you hit a few jolts in the road, you feel it, and that's what they talk about. Oh, the Harley feel. And I'm kind of like, well, I like a little more plushness, especially on a touring bike. Non-adjustable forks, so there isn't much you can do with it. Range-wise, I get 47, 50 miles to the gallon with it, 6-gallon tank, to empty. You have to run premium. The long stroke engine, along with the heat it generates, they have the compression, I believe it's 10.5 to 1. So yeah, you put a lower grade octane in there, you can hear it ping a little bit when it's under throttle. But overall, look at the simplicity of the Harley. Here's what they've got, right? You need to get to the air cleaner. Go try that on a Goldwing. That's a 5-hour surgery. Here's a bolt. There's 3 other bolts inside there. You can get to your air filter, right? Otherwise, not much else to say about it. This is a little taller windshield that I put on there. It kind of helps out a little bit, but they sure are fun to ride. They look good. You know, it's the ultra classic. It's the ultimate touring machine in the Harley Davidson world. So appreciate you watching, and that'll be it for today.